All right, welcome everyone to December 24th, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If any of y'all have watched Rent, it is the last day of Youth Power PDX's fall series Speak Up, Sing Out event. Tonight, we will be featuring three more musicians before signing off for the holidays. My name is Brina Marthaler. You are here this morning, and I will be your host for this evening. My pronouns are she or they. I'd like to welcome Du. Du, could you introduce yourself, your name, pronouns, and a little bit about your work?
Yeah. So my name is Du Joy. My pronouns are he, him. And let's see here. So I am of Japanese descent, which is why my name is pronounced Du instead of how it looks phonetically. Otherwise, like most people, they pronounce it Ryu or something like that. Kind of weird. Um, Musically, I play piano as a main instrument, and then I play guitar and clarinet as my second and third instrument. For guitar, I mostly like to play rock music, although I'd like to do some fingerstyle, such as maybe John Mayer or such, who is going to be one of my favorite artists. Otherwise, I usually play classical stuff, like European classical, and that's about it.
Wicked, yeah. Um, so how I just before we get started, you described your identity and your background a little bit. Could you go a little bit more in depth in that and maybe tell us how that identity has affected your music?
Yeah. So again, like I said, I am Japanese, but more specifically, I am from the island of Okinawa, which is basically it is the Japanese version of an oppressed indigenous group. It was a conquered and annexed group later on. Sort of, it is. I do think of it as almost like Hawaii in that kind of sense. So that is, and both my parents are from that same island, so that does I have to think about that a lot. But I am very American. I was born in America. I've been raised in America. So I am a Japanese American. So I have to face a lot of things of being a Japanese person in America. A lot of which is a lot of the random stereotypes of Japanese people. Oh, they're always so smart. You wear glasses. You must be smart. I'm going to call you a calculator, which did happen. Or they think I'm Korean and I'm not Korean. I don't know why they think that. Or Vietnamese. I'm not sure where that one ever came from. Um, and I don't know. It was one of those things where it was just so normalized. I never thought anything of it until recently. I'm like, you know what? That is kind of weird. Also, the people I know who say things like Jap should probably not be saying that. It's kind of like that kind of stuff because as being Asian Americans are usually invisible in terms of their racial problems. It's just one of the things that they've been kind of labeled as basically being white. That's kind of propaganda. So that's one of the things I do have to think about too, as a person minority, and especially in something like Portland, which is very white. And then I go to school in Southwest Wilson High School, which is the whitest school in the whitest city. So my experiences are very much there's not a whole ton of other people in my culture that I can really relate to at the same amount. So I've ended up internalizing a lot of white culture, and it's something I've been trying to think about more often, be more aware of. I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, awesome. Well, do I know you from some sound engineering things like live set. I know you've done work for Friends of Noise too, and I'm really excited to hear your work. So just whenever you're ready to go ahead.
Yeah, sure. How's the volume there?
That's great.
All right. This piece is called "Windy and Warm," fingerstyle. This one's from Chet Atkins. All right. And, well, this next one should be pretty well known, I think. At least from what I would think. Let's see here. So, this next one is Take 5, which is another classic jazz standard, I would say. Alright, let's see if I remember this. sure it's about 10 minutes unless you do want more.
We have time for one more if you'd like.
Oh God. Okay. Well, what I can do for you is one of two Beatles songs. Would you rather have Blackbird or Sunshine?
Oh my God. Me personally, Blackbird.
All right. Let's see here. Let's put that back on.
Ruby.
Hmm? Okay.
Incredible. Oh my gosh. I just mad respect for your guitar skill.
Yeah, I wish I could sing so I could, do that part too.
Oh, I believe in you. You could totally sing. Um,
Well,
are
if
you
you like
ready
us
to
trying.
you ready
Yeah,
to
I'm
jump
ready.
into the interview? Awesome, awesome. All right. Well, um, the first question that comes up for me is, as you are a triple threat when it comes to music, what has been your like journey through learning these instruments? When did you start, and what keeps you going?
Okay. So one is there. So one I want to think is funny is that there is a stereotype of the Asian mom forcing a kid to play piano or something, but that's not what happened to me. Because what happened to me is that my mom does play piano. What happens is that when I was like 4 or 5, I just kept hearing her play piano and sing to it, and I decided, you know what, I want to do that too. And that was when I asked my mom to start teaching me piano. And so I first learned Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and some basic Japanese lullaby that I no longer remember. Um, and then what happened was that I kept playing. I started playing that on 4 or 5. But and then my mom would teach me up to a point where I was about as good as her, a little bit better. And then at that point, I never was able to get a teacher, just because the parents didn't have the money to afford music lessons for multiple instruments. So at that point, I was self-taught, and it was a bit of a struggle up until maybe like last year when I'm like, okay, I figured out exactly what I want to do. So that's how where I am now at piano. Is I decided I'm gonna start solidifying what I want to do. So I work on classical music. I've been playing the Moonlight Sonata, some Bach, a Japanese folk song, some lists and that kind of stuff. And then what happens is that so for guitar is that a year after I started playing piano, I don't remember why, but I started taking guitar lessons. And so my mom bought me my first guitar, which I actually still have. It was a very cheap nylon string guitar that was way too big for me. Because an adult-sized classical guitar is way too big for like a 5-year-old or something like that. So I had to. My mom bought me a 3/4 size travel acoustic guitar, and that's how I first started playing guitar. Eventually, sometime around middle school, I got an actual electric guitar, and so I've been slowly working on increasing my skills at that. I like playing rock the most. I love playing rock. So I love playing Boston. Boston would be my favorite, I think. Boston, and then yeah, Boston and John Mayer for fingerstyle. I love John Mayer so much. And so like that's kind of where some point in the future I want to make an actual band that wants to play music because all my other efforts they didn't really feel like playing music, so it didn't work out very well. You need everyone to want to play in order to play. Later on, I played clarinet because my elementary school actually had a marching band. It was the only elementary school marching band in the city, So everyone at this band first started on recorder, and we'd all march on recorder playing Blue Monk, and we'd all go to St. John's Parade every year and play that. I played recorder for 2 years, and I wanted to play flute, but I was convinced to instead play clarinet. So I picked up clarinet around third grade, and I've been playing clarinet ever since. And I've been fairly good on all three instruments. I feel like it could be better if I stuck to one. But that's basically where I'm at right now with the music, I think.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah. No, I really respect that. Since we're getting close to running out of time, I wanted to know, since this group, Youth Power PDX, a major core value of it is youth intersectionality and power. And I just wanted to know, what does intersectional youth power mean to you, and how would it affect your creativity and your craft?
Hmm. Well, I think the first part is, I guess, just being aware that there are some obstacles that other people do have to overcome. I might, as a Japanese person, I might not have the exact same obstacles as maybe other people of color, just because of the stereotype of the Asian success story. But I know that they do exist, even for me still, and for others. And I want to recognize this, and at the same time, I also want to recognize my own culture in this. So I think for me, what I think of intersectionality is, I want to be able to make sure that I can think of other people and be aware of other people when I'm not even in the music, just going through my daily life kind of thing. I want to be aware that there's other people out there, and I want to be able to think about them. That's something that I learned throughout high school from my friend who was very aware of this, and he helped kind of teach me through this.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's amazing. And it's great to always, have someone who has, guided you and taught you. And it seems like you have that in a friend, and you have that in musicians that you follow. Um, so since we're basically out of time, is there any place that people can find you on social media or find your work?
Um, at this point, actually, not really, because I haven't focused actually on producing music at this point, just because I've been working on applying for music conservatories. So there actually isn't a place for me right now. But maybe one day in the future, you guys can find me at some point.
All right. Well, for that audience watching, write down the name Do Joy and look him up in the future. I'm convinced he will be famous. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's about it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. It was an incredible show. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye.
Welcome back, everyone, to the second of tonight and second to last performance for the fall series Youth Power PDX Speak Up Sing Out event. Right now, we are so happy to present Big Papi Productions. They were on yesterday with an interview, and tonight we will just be playing a set of theirs. Big Papi Productions is a dynamic duo of two native Portland rappers. They started making music last year and released an EP last summer. They are currently trying to branch out of the rap genre while still sticking to their roots. If you want to check out their interview, please go to our website, youthpowerpdx.org, to check out the archived interview. And you can find them on SoundCloud under Big Papi Productions or Instagram under the same name. So without further ado, I guess we can start that stream.
Hey, hey yo, hey yo,
What?
hey
What?
yo,
Big Papi on the beat?
hey, hey, shout out to y'all. Selling dick for $5. When I see your bitch, you know she finna holla.
Bitch, get the strap. Then you do a lap. Dance on the floor. You know your girl a whore.
Rap it on the track. If they Papi, we don't slack. Never. Like Jesus, we revive. Keep the rap game alive. Whoa.
Built our career on a damn pair of sneaks.
Better get ready. That wasn't our peak. Nah.
Iced out, head to toe, like fucking frog toe. Y'all sweat, Eminem probably has a toe. Think we're a joke, always put it in our heads. Won't be talking when you're beneath my bed.
Yeah, I'm a Gucci man. Ask for my OnlyFans. Ask so fat. Yeah, I might need a hand. Call me a dyke. I'd be 10 bitches left and right. If I had your girl, she'd probably spend a night.
It's a comeback.
What?
It's a comeback.
What?
It's a what? It's a motherfucking comeback. Yeah, we came back.
Yup.
Yeah, we are back.
Huh.
All these jealous rappers better watch their back.
So watch that back, bitch. So watch that back, bitch. So watch that. So
Watch that. Watch that back, bitch. Wash your back, bitch.
Scrub.
Wash your back, bitch.
Scrub.
Wash your back, bitch. Hey, soap and water, bitch. Soap and water, bitch. Soap and water, bitch. In the shower, bitch. In the shower. Hey,
Hey yo.
hey,
Hey yo.
hey.
Hey yo. Big Papi
Production. Literally, it's madness, bruv. No, that don't make any sense, love. You need to get it together, bro. Cause you are at an all-time low. Cut your hair. Cut your hair.
smells like a dirty piece of underwear. Please, I'm begging you, just cut your hair. Dreads are not for you, man. You're so white. Please get a tan.
Cut your hair. Cut your hair. Walking around looking like a caveman. Black people do it doesn't mean that you can. Cultural appropriation. It's wrecking the freaking nation. I promise you, you don't look cool. In fact, you look like a big fat fool. Cut your hair. Cut your hair.
Man bun is ugly too. The amount of grease is like dirty shoe.
I don't want none if you got a man bun. Cut your hair. Cut your hair. Oh shit, it's a rat.
Just kidding, that's your hair. You disrespecting mice?
That just ain't fair.
You trying to be a Jedi, but you don't have the force.
If you chop it off,
You won't feel remorse.
cut your hair. Cut your hair. If you want to be a cool kid, just shave your head like Ryuu did. You can wear beanies that'll fit your head. I promise you'll be cool, just like we said.
Flipping Krabby Patties like SpongeBob. You niggas are broke, get a job. Got so many bands, I'm not talking rubber. Coming to my house, don't disrespect my other. Sophia looks like Squidward. Maybe because she's a big nerd, but that's okay. She got all the hoes, and just like both feet, she stays 10 toes. Oh shit, it's a Krabby Patty. Oh shit, hoes call me daddy. Oh shit, it's a Krabby Patty. Oh shit, Sophia's a baddie. Hoes stay mad. She call me father like my name is Dad. Same in black forces every day. You niggas are in trouble, get out of the way. And Sophia stay being gay, but don't worry, that is okay. Oh shit, it's a Krabby Patty. Oh shit, hoes call me daddy. Oh shit, it's a Krabby Patty. Oh shit, Sophia's a baddie.
Big Papi Productions.
This one goes out to all my baby mamas. All my baby's mamas. And most importantly, all my baby's mamas. This one's for you, baby mama.
His forces were black. His forces were black. He was gonna attack with his forces that are black. Walking down the street to pick up some meat. And then I saw someone break the law. This nigga was scary. This nigga was hairy. His name was probably Mary. Oh yeah, but this fool wasn't that cool. As soon as I looked at his shoes, my mind blew. Forces were black. His forces were black. He was gonna attack. With his forces were black. I didn't know what to do. My face was practically blue. It's just this nigga with his shoes. His forces were black. His forces were black. He was gonna attack with his forces that are black. I was scared of my mind, I was afraid it's my time. Now I'm here singing this rhyme to warn y'all about these niggas and forces. They probably have several divorces. Maybe they eat some horses. Please stay away from these niggas and forces. 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 These niggas and forces.
Hey mamas, I know it's late, but I was just thinking about you and me and you and us and you and me. I don't know. Call me back, I guess.
It all started when you said, hey mamas, you said I'm thicker than a smoothie from Jamba. With these bitches I don't want no drama, but you about to make me be your baby mama. All this time I've been looking and searching for a Buddha coma. A Buddha coma. Like white people and men. Like Sophia Ellen being faggot. I wanna love like this. Like this. I wanna love like this. I wanna love like this. I wanna love like this. Yeah, I wanna love like this. I wanna love like fingers in a glove. You can be my helping hand, my right handed man. When you wear that bun in the front of your forehead, it makes me wanna get right into your bed. I wanna love like this. 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 Bruh. Bruh.
All right. Thank you again to Sophia and Faraya of Big Papi Productions. I want to remind everyone that you can check out their SoundCloud and listen to more of that awesome producing and music at Big Papi Productions on SoundCloud. Check out their Instagram under the same name, and absolutely go to youthpowerpdx.org and find their interview from yesterday. Something else you can check out on youthpowerpdx.org is our community partners and sponsorships. I would like to thank 350 PDX, a great climate justice organization that supported our panel from yesterday and supported our entire event with a sponsorship. I would like to thank our community partners, Morpheus Youth Project, who hosted a panel, Friends of Noise City Repair Project, and the Pear Visual Art Gallery. If you go to our website, you go to the drop down and you can find the event calendar and Pear Visual Art Gallery, and you can find all this art on here. These art pieces were created by Unhoused Youth through Pear, a Portland-based organization that mentors Portland's homeless youth to affirm personal worth and create healthier lives and communities. You can email William Kendall via that email listed right there to buy any of this art and support this wonderful organization. I'd like to thank Big Papi Productions one more time, and y'all please check out at 10 p.m. we will be having Aliya Falls for an interview as our last artist of the day. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Hey. Go. We recorded.
I think so. Is it Rena?
It's Rena. Yeah. It's Aliya, right?
Aliya.
Aliya. Oh my gosh, I knew it was one of the two. All right. Well, I just want to say first, welcome audience to the very last session for the fall series of Youth Power PDX's Speak Up, Sing Out event. Here we will be hosting Aliya Falls for an interview. You were here a couple days ago too, right? Was it yesterday? Awesome.
I think it was 2.
Okay, yeah, something like that. Wicked. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you mind introducing yourself with your name, your pronouns, and a little bit about your work?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Aliya Falls. My pronouns are she and her. And I'm currently working on an album right now. I don't have any work released, but I'm an R&B singer, R&B pop singer. So.
Awesome. Yeah. And I'll be on the lookout for that album for sure.
Yes.
Is there anywhere that people can find you on social media so that they can keep a lookout for it?
Yeah, so my Instagram is at aliya.falls. My first name is Aliya. I don't know if they can see the screen, but first dot last name. It's my Instagram handle. Okay, they can.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I guess just jumping into it, I wanted to know how you would describe your background and identity and what impact that's had on your work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I am African American. I identify as both African American and Caucasian. I'm also cis female, so I identify as or my pronouns, yeah, she and her. And that's really affected my music, I would say, in the sense that because I have not only like a voice writing as a female artist, Also having the being African American, I have kind of two parts to when it goes into the creative process. So I always want to think about how I can cater towards an audience of people who look like me and also people who don't look like me. So I take both into account when I'm writing my music. And I think it's really fun to write from different perspectives as well, and just trying unique things and trying something different each time I write. So.
Awesome. Yeah. And our identities are impacted by how others see us. I wanted to know, how have you been impacted by like the gaze of others, whether they're male or female, black or white?
I would say I've been impacted the most just by people not really recognizing that I am Black. And like I said in the last interview, my family is a lot darker than I am. They have a lot darker complexions. So I think a lot of times um, people don't assume that I come from that background. So it's just, that's definitely impacted me, because how other people perceive me is not necessarily how I perceive myself. So that can be difficult in terms of making friends with certain people who might not hold the same beliefs about equality towards minorities, and finding out, that later on it can be difficult because people, I guess, aren't always what you think they are, I guess. So
Yeah,
you can easily, I guess, yeah.
totally. And I guess you mentioned people seeing you as an identity different than what identity you see yourself as. Do you think you've grown into what you see in your identity more?
I think it's actually, for me, it kind of went in the reverse. I think growing up, I just assumed that I was, I looked like my family and that people recognized that I was Black. And then I think as I got older, I realized, oh, I don't really look like them. And people around me don't see me as African American. Like I can white pass very easily. And even though I've never identified as only white, I understand that that's how people see me. So when I'm in a room of people, even though I might identify as Black, the way people see me isn't necessarily Black. So it's just contradicting and it's confusing, and it's actually gotten worse as I've gotten older. I think now that I realize it, I can be a little I don't know, just be a little bit more like hesitant with the way I approach people. But yeah, I've definitely noticed it more now, because not only is it like difficult being just confused on like which identity you fit in with, but within African American culture, there's a lot of colorism too, which is horrible, because it's like you're already, divided from society, but then within a culture, there's a side of it where the lighter skinned people tend to be praised, and I don't stand by that at all. I don't think that's how the way it should be, but I think a lot of times in entertainment and stuff, that's the case.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess that is like a large part of your everyday experiences. It must be. Is there like how does that translate into your music?
Right now, I haven't written anything on that, because it is a really deep subject and touchy subject, because it's like my identity and my everyday life. So I don't know. I try to mostly write kind of about lighter things and stay away from heavy topics because I think our world is already so heavy. So like I just want my music to be kind of more just on lighter topics and just upbeat and just happy and about love and about other things. Um, so that's just like a personal choice for me for when I'm creating art. I don't really like to tie any like deep personal things because then for me personally it kind of that's not helpful for me to just sit and write about something that I already deal with. um I have other forms of like figuring that out but um um sorry, it's super late. I'm like I'm like straying from the question. So what was the question? Was
No worries. I was wondering how your everyday experiences had translated into your music, but you gave a great answer. And
Yeah.
now I'm wondering what could you elaborate a little bit more on what you like to write about? And the type of kind of message and feel you want your music to spread?
Yeah, of course. I think it's fun to write in like character sometimes because like I don't know, my life is pretty boring. Like so I just think it's fun to like step into a person of someone else and write from different perspectives. And I write a lot about just relationships or love, even though I've never been in love. And but it's like if you think about some of the artists on the radio, like Sam Smith, like when he wrote all of his hit songs, like he had never been in a relationship. So I think that's super cool, just being able to write about whatever you want and just whatever you think sounds cool. And that's honestly what I'm trying to do. I just want to create something that's fun that people are going to hopefully like to listen to, that music that I would listen to. More importantly, like I don't want to write something um just to have a certain look, I guess, or sound a certain way. I just want to write something that I would like genuinely listen to, that my friends would genuinely listen to. And I guess if if you wanted to like pick out a certain message, I think most of it hopefully is up for interpretation. I don't want to tell anyone what my songs like. I don't want to force like a meaning behind it. If people can like listen to it and pick out their own meanings, I think that's dope. Like if people are like, this one line, like I felt like you wrote that line for me or something. Like even though it was something completely different, like it doesn't matter. Like I think it's just more of like a feeling and how people interpret it of all different backgrounds too. No matter if you're female, male, black or white, any ethnicity. I think it's cool because each person is going to have a unique perspective of how they interpret my songs. So I'm just super excited and super thankful.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, and I'm a musician too. I completely understand the wanting to just create music that you would want to genuinely listen to. That's how you know
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know that there are some iconic moments in especially musicians, but people's lives of like, I don't know, seeing a major icon like Michael Jackson doing something that have been like
Yeah.
a moment of creative genius for them. Was there a moment for you that love like hearing an amazing creative performance that has stuck with you and inspired you?
Oh, definitely. There's been so many. The main one that comes to mind is Lord. She's such a huge inspiration of mine. She's always been. I think the coolest part about her is that we're close to the same age, so she's pretty young. And um, back when her first album, Pure Heroine, came out, I was in middle school and I just remember being in awe of someone who's like, she's like 16, I think, when that album released. And just for someone to have like that much talent and and creative ability was just mind-blowing. Like, she had some of the just most insane, like, just sonically, lyrically, everything was like, still to this day, I'm like, I don't think I could ever top that album. Like, like, I don't think anyone, like, it was just so crazy. And so yeah, so that came out when I was in middle school, and then that was when I moved schools. And then flash forward, in 2017, I think, when she released Melodrama, I got to see her in concert. So this is where, like, the performance aspect comes in. And everybody always says she, like, dances weird. I thought it was fine. I loved the concert. I think I cried during most of it, but it was still, like, probably the best night of my life. Like, she's, like, just amazing. Like, she's someone that I've always dreamed of collaborating with, everything. And she's also someone who's not, like, a typical, like, pop star, I guess. Like, when you think of Lorde, like, starting out, like, her music doesn't really fit into, I mean, it's like alternative, but it's pop, but she's not bubblegum pop. Yeah, definitely Lorde.
Amazing. Yeah, totally. No, I love Lorde. I get it. And so if that's maybe one of your musical inspirations, I'm wondering, in your just everyday life, are there people who have inspired you?
Yeah, it's actually really cool. I have a lot of friends that do make music, and are really inspiring to me. Some of, like, my closest friends are such great musicians. Um, I can shout out a few. I don't know if you want me to, like, name drop. Yeah, so I would say Rain. Her Instagram is everything_Ezra.
Oh
She's
my
amazing.
gosh. She was my choir director in school.
Yeah, she's literally so talented. Like, I mean, and just her work ethic is crazy. So have to mention Rain. And the other one, just off the top of my head, is Tristan. He's also an amazing rapper, singer, songwriter. He just dropped an album. I think his Instagram is, like, just Tristan with 2 T's. So definitely follow him and Rain. They're just such genuine people. They're really inspiring to me. Their work ethic is crazy. I hope to see more projects with them in the future, or from them in the future, and maybe collabs, something like that. They're just super cool people, and super great musicians. So yeah.
Totally. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you brought up Rain. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Everyone, please go check them out. So coming back to your music a little bit, do you have, like, a writing process?
I think before, I really didn't have a strong process. I would just kind of write whenever an idea came to me. So there was no really intention behind it. And in a way, I think I got a lot of, like, strong creative work out of that, but it wasn't necessarily, they weren't necessarily songs that would be radio ready, I guess you could say, or would sell, really. And now, working on the album, I'm trying my best to do a mix of the two, to where I'm still making songs that are true to who I am as an artist, and will match up with, I guess, the message that I'm trying to send, or the sound that I want to have. But I'm being more intentional about, when I say, like, I want to make songs that I listen to, I mean that, like, in a way that a song that would be on the radio type of vibe, because I love artists like Drake, or Party Next Door. I mean, Party's not really played on the radio like that, but Drake 100% is. So studying some of his songs, things like that, because I want to make the best music that I possibly can for this project. And I want to make stuff that I'm proud of and that I will listen to, and hopefully other people will listen to as well. So
Totally. Yeah, yeah. I have full confidence in you. And of course it's inspiring to see people who have reached such a wide audience, you know, like Drake and like Lord with their music. So I completely understand. We have a few minutes now. So switching gears, a large core value of Youth Power PDX, this organization, is intersectional youth power and overall intersectionality. So I wanted to know, what does intersectional youth power mean to you, and how, if it does it affect your creativity and craft?
yeah, so I think there was a similar question in the last one, and I remember saying that it was about bringing all youth backgrounds together through my art, and making sure that everybody's voice is heard, regardless of gender or sexual orientation or ethnicity or race. I think that's really important. I think the youth voice is so powerful. We saw that with this past election and with the movements like Black Lives Matter. So I think that's super important. And I really want to convey that in my art. And I hope that the people that are listening to my music feel inspired and like they have a voice when it releases. Obviously, it's not out yet. But yeah, that's the goal.
Awesome. And I guess my last question for you is, do you have any advice to aspiring musicians?
Oh man. Honestly, I think the best advice is just like slow down. Like the reason that I don't have any like projects out right now, I released stuff in the past, but everything just seemed like it was me trying to make something happen that just wasn't ready to happen yet, I guess. So I would just say like slow down and just let things take, like things are going, anything worth your while is going to take time. So, and a lot of younger artists have the luxury of time. Obviously, if you're starting out later, you have to, move a little bit faster. But if you're starting out young as an artist, like just take your time, because opportunities will come, events will come, and the creative process will naturally and organically happen. But I think this idea of overnight success is insane. Like, and even people who claim to have gotten overnight success, it was after years and years of hard work that nobody saw. So slow down.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that was all. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Merry Christmas Eve or Christmas.
Merry Christmas Eve and Christmas to you
Or happy
too.
holidays.
Yeah, it was so wonderful having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. As we close up, I would like to once again thank every single panelist, musician, poet, speaker, and participant in this event. We couldn't have done it without you. We couldn't have done it without the Youth Power PDX team and the Youth Power PDX core panel. Please check out our website, youthpowerpdx.org, to look for future events and watch these archived events. And please, again, check out our sponsor organizations. Happy holidays.